I am so sorry that we are having to come together at this moment in this terrible, awful, heart-wrenching time, but nonetheless, I'm very glad to see you all. My name is MARJAN PHILHOUR. I'm speaking to you today as a child of immigrants, one from the Philippines and the other from Iran, both countries with substantial attachments to the Islamic faith. Both my parents had rough experiences with religion before immigrating to the United States, and like so many multiracial children, I grew up trying and often failing to integrate a complex and contradictory set of values and historical beliefs. My father changed his name from Muhammad to Mark, not just to avoid discrimination, but also because of the terrible impact of radical politics on his life and our family. When I was a teenager, I was deeply interested in government work, and I began volunteering after school for my local congressman, Congressman Tom Lantos. Think about him so much. Tom Lantos was the only Holocaust survivor ever to serve in the United States Congress. And as a freshman in high school, I knew very little about Israel or Jewish history, faith, and culture. Everything I know today about the importance of democracy and the importance of representation in government started with my work with Congressman Tom Lantos. The personal care, the focus on the life of the constituent standing right in front of you resonated with me deeply and impacted me tremendously. Eventually, I went to work full-time for the congressman, and I had my first taste of the gun violence that sadly surrounds politics when an unstable person took his own life in the lobby of our office right in front of me. I was 23 years old. Tom Lantos and his staff took care of an extremely frightened young girl that day and in the weeks after. And as I moved on to different political work, I continued to be surrounded by that sense of warmth and care that I continue to find myself with, working closely with Jewish leaders across California and across the United States. I committed myself to the study of the history, culture, and even for a brief time, the language. That last part was not very successful. But earlier this year, as Ty mentioned, I finally had the opportunity to visit Israel. I was able to touch the soil, smell the air, feel the culture, enjoy the food, and bond with countless amazing and inspiring people. I felt so at home and surrounded by love and care, words cannot describe, and that was just this past May. It was life-changing. To say it was life-changing would be an understatement. It was an experience that I'd waited almost 35 years to experience. My heart has been broken by the events of last weekend and into this week and now. I condemn in the strongest possible terms the abhorrent actions of Hamas. I stand with my friends in Israel and defend their right to live in a safe and secure nation. I support whatever actions Israel must take to eliminate Hamas and preserve the Jewish homeland. I've seen in San Francisco, in my own neighborhood, an unsavory attempt to find moral equivalency between last weekend's nightmare historic acts of terrorism and Israel's response. This attempt reminds me a bit of the reaction we see when we make the important point that Black lives matter and are met with the response that all lives matter. Yes, all lives matter, but let us take some time to mourn. Let us take some time to respond. This is an unprecedented nightmare event. Let us be with each other and let us support each other. My time in Israel was marked by the warmth and resilience of its people. The first thing that struck me was the diversity of cultures and religions coexisting harmoniously. I had the privilege of exploring Jerusalem, something I thought I would never have the opportunity to do. It's a city steeped in history and significance for people of various faiths. Walking the old city's narrow streets, I marveled at the Western Wall and the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. These sacred sites are not only religious landmarks, but also symbols of the need for peaceful coexistence and mutual respect. These democratic values, based on the value of individual human lives and embodied by Israel and my late mentor, Congressman Lantos, will someday provide the surest path toward lasting peace, even if it comes a long time away. During my visit, I was fortunate enough to meet and engage with Israelis from all walks of life. It was the greatest gift. Their resilience in the face of ongoing threats of violence was truly remarkable. I spoke with parents who demonstrated unwavering courage and determination to provide a safe and secure environment for their children, despite the constant threat of rocket attacks from Hamas. There are so many people who should be up here speaking to you, and I do not want to take any more of their time, but I want you to hear me say, without reservation, we see you, we value you, we are mourning with you, we are angered just like you, and we love you. Let's bring these children and family members home. Thank you.
Bring them home. Bring